ask Professor Cooper to start. Make we talk about the bottom of the sea, Muta submarine poetics. In his multiple role as poet, performing artist, philosopher, lecturer, motivational speaker, film star, yes, film, television and radio talk show host, black music selector, soundscape designer for Caribbean Fashion Week, and himself a fashion icon, Alan Muta Hope inhabits a world of endless possibilities in which the power and authority of this extraordinary Rastaman are fully manifested. Of these many intricately connected roles, it is Muta calling as poet that I highlight today. In the tradition of the griot, the oral historian who poetically documents the history of his community, Muta writes and speaks into conscious memory our collective narrative of survival in the African diaspora. Indeed, Muta feeds us life-sustaining spiritual food, for he is also literally and metaphorically a master ital chef. From Muta broad poetic repertoire, I selected a single album, Melanin Man, released in 1994 as the subject of this paper, and there is a mistake I made in the abstract, which should really have been 1994 rather than 2004, which is what I have here. Now, the body of work collected in Melanin Man represents a wide range of the poet's preoccupations: race pride in the poem Garvey, black nationalist politics, beware, where he warns Mandela about giving in too easily to white notions of forgiveness. The legacies of colonialism, People's Court 2, cultural resistance, Miss Lou, we love you for true when you chat so sweet and all of Jamaica just as skin their teeth. And regional integration, Haiti, with a profound line, break the chains that keep us apart. The themes of Melanin Man recur on Muta radio and television programs, in the many motivational talks he has given, and on the tracks he skillfully cuts and mixes as a selector for his black music sound system. The fourth track on the Melanin Man CD, Killing, is the source of the title for this paper. Let me talk about the bottom of the sea. In an informal interview, Muta disclosed that the poem was inspired by a visit to the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., which opened in 1993, a year before the album was released. This visit explains why Muta frames the performance poem with a brief meditation on the role of museums, libraries, and public monuments as sites of communal memory and formal education. Everyone remembers their past, building monuments, museums, writing books, so that their children will never forget. We must all learn from the past so as not to repeat those things that have kept us back for over 500 years. Having established in the opening verse the human need to memorialize the past, especially to document those historical facts that can be so systematically erased from collective memory by the perpetrators of horrific crimes, Muta repeatedly invites us to talk. Now, this talk is not idle chatter. Talk is an incantation, a mystical vibration, an intellectual engagement, a reasoning that dispels lies and reclaims truth. Make me talk. 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 Make me talk about the killing. The killing that they never mentioned. Killing was their intention. For Muta, seemingly immaterial talk becomes a potent ideological equivalent of imposing material structures such as a Holocaust Memorial Museum. This, of course, does not mean that Muta would disdain the building of museums to house our history. I am sure he would honor the sustained work of Donna McFarlane and her colleagues at the Institute of Jamaica, who have rehabilitated Garvey's Liberty Hall in downtown Kingston, transforming it into a world-class museum and living cultural center. I myself but look forward to the day when there will be an equivalent museum on Rastafari in Jamaica. Under the leadership of Dr. C.Cooper, the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in the U.S. Capitol has made a start to quote-unquote exhibit Rastafari, but that is certainly not enough. The very title of the exhibition is problematic. One Love, Discovering Rastafari. First, there's a one love cliche. Yes, Rastafari declare peace and love, but also Nyabingi, death to all black and white oppressors. Furthermore, the metaphor of discovery unfortunately evokes Columbus's genocidal encounter with the indigenous peoples of the so-called New World. Discovery also connotes the exoticization of Rastafari as strange creatures, just like the dinosaurs and other natural history exhibits in the museum, fit only to be put on display for consumption by real people. What we need, I think, is a museum on Rastafari, designed by Rastafari, for Rastafari first, and ultimately for the whole world. For Rastafari is now a global liberty rooted in Jamaica. Muta redemptive talk serves the same monumental purpose for African people as the Holocaust Memorial Museum does for the Jews. The description of the purpose of the museum given on the website highlights the need to speak disturbing truths. Quote, today we face an alarming rise in Holocaust denial and anti-Semitism, even in the very lands where the Holocaust happened, as well as genocide and threats of genocide in other parts of the world. All of this when we are soon approaching a time when Holocaust survivors and other eyewitnesses will no longer be alive, unquote. The citing of the authoritative evidence of eyewitnesses to the Holocaust in the museum's narrative of remembering reinforces the urgency of Muta insistent affirmation of the value of seemingly ephemeral talk. For despite the solidity of the physical building, the real strength of the museum is not the massive block and see structure. It is a careful documentation of the oral histories, the stories of the survivors, the talk that sets and keeps the record straight. Thus, Muta insistently affirms, so make we talk about the bottom of the sea. Escape from slavery, millions trying to be free, preferring death, yet no mention. In Muta submarine poetics, the sea bottom becomes the organic museum of African people, preserving the bones of those who escaped the Middle Passage. The poet accepts responsibility to not only mention, but indeed truly honor our maroon ancestors in the elaborate retelling of their epic stories of trying to be free. Like Muta, the African-American painter Tom Feelings poetically documents a narrative of remembering in works of art that restore the humanity of Africans subjected to the trauma of the Middle Passage. This is how Feelings describes his redemptive vision. And I have some of the images here, which I have brought. Quote, what if this part of our history could be told in such a way that those chains of the past, those shackles that physically bound us together against our wills, could, in the telling, become spiritual links that willingly bind us together now and into the future, then that painful Middle Passage could become, ironically, a positive connecting line to all of us, whether living inside or outside the continent of Africa. Furthermore, Feelings imagines the bones at the bottom of the sea as signposts on the journey in several directions to both reclaim ancestral homelands and to claim newly adopted resting places. Quote, if the Atlantic were to dry up, it would reveal a scattered path of human bones, African bones, marking the various routes of the Middle Passage. This metaphor of submarine routes to roots and yet more roots beautifully resonates with Muta poem and also with the inventive scholarship of the Barbadian poet Kamau Brathwaite. In 1974, when he was still Edward, Brathwaite published a pamphlet entitled Contradictory Omens, Cultural Diversity and Integration in the Caribbean. Rathbone concludes that collection of essays with an intriguing affirmation, quote, "The unity is submarine," unquote. The preceding paragraph celebrates Caribbean folk culture, quote, "For the Caribbean as elsewhere, the basis of culture lies in the folk, and by folk we mean a people who from the center of an oppressive system have been able to survive, adapt, recreate, have devised means of protecting what has been so gained, miraculous, precarious marinage, and who begin to offer to return some of this experience and vision," unquote. The